And Katie, I wanted to ask you something that really sparked and fueled the Me Too movement. Was this surprising to you, or was it just something that a lot of people didn't know about and it was just the way things worked?
I mean, I think it depends on a case-by-case basis. Certainly, when it came to Matt, this was a real surprise to so many of his colleagues. Just because we just weren't aware of it. I think it wasn't something that was overt. I still don't really have a full understanding of the women who he was involved with and the circumstances, but clearly it was an inappropriate abuse of his position and his power, and it was really disheartening and heartbreaking for a lot of people who saw him as a very different person. I think there was sort of this feeling, I think it's, I'm 61, so I've been doing this a long time, and women of my generation, that there was this certain amount of behavior that went on. I would hear, I'm talking not about Matt, but other people, you'd hear rumors, you'd hear speculation, newsrooms are notoriously gossipy. And I would just sort of say, oh, really gross, or I don't know, and I was too busy working and being a single mom of 2 little girls and really focused on my career to pay much attention to it. But I think there were certain mores, that were just kind of accepted in television news for a very long time. And I think one of the great things about this is it's a huge cultural course correction. And we are now really examining newsroom cultures. And that's a very hard thing to kind of put your finger on. But I think there are a myriad of ways that things are going to get better. But first, the awareness was necessary. And I really credit a younger generation of women. I think there's a real generational shift. I notice in my daughters, who are 26 and 22, who have a lot more agency, who are much more informed about sexual assault and affirmative consent and all these things that I think they have a very different view of their place in the world and how to interact with men in a work environment, which I think is a really good thing. I'm lucky. I've only experienced a few incidents when I was much younger where, the vice president of CNN said I was successful because of my hard work and my industriousness, my intelligence, and my breast size. And he said it in a room in front of a whole group of executives. When I walked into a room, I was 26 years old. And I remember I wrote him a scathing memo saying, hey, first of all, my boss, a male named Don Farmer, who I really credit for making me strong, and I'll stop talking and I'll tell this story quickly, you guys, sorry, but he said, you know what, we're gonna sit down, you're gonna write him a memo, and you're gonna tell him that's completely unacceptable and he owes you an apology. Now, this was in 1984, right? And so I wrote this letter, he called me immediately, he was just effusive in his apology. But it kind of made me realize, you know what, I don't have to put up with that bullshit. And I had a male ally who helped give me the strength to fight back. And that set the tone for me for my entire career, that I was actually not gonna put up with that.